Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Craig. We very much appreciate you guys tuning in this morning and joining us in the conversation as we talk firearms policy, Second Amendment, you name it. Would like to encourage you guys, please support our sponsors, Sacramento Black Rifle and Sparks Black Rifle, as they support you and your right to keep and bear arms. Please support them, once again, so that they can help continue to support you. Also want to remind you, FPCgear.com, very excellent place to go. Find T-shirts, very cool T-shirts where you can express your support for your right to keep and bear arms, and as well as actually support your right to keep and bear arms, as every dollar that you contribute or every dollar that you utilize to purchase a T-shirt will go back into the fight for our civil rights. Let's talk about our civil rights. You guys recall that just not too long ago there was a shooting that took place. And at a newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland. It appeared to be an individual who seemed to have an issue with this particular newspaper and had made threats against the newspaper dating all the way back to 2011. This was a guy who they knew about, they knew was a threat. They knew who he had made threats, and they had called the law enforcement a number of times, and law enforcement had decided, well, you know, they really didn't have enough to arrest the guy on or to do anything with these particular threats. So inevitably he would wind up showing up at the newspaper one day, and he would he wind up shooting and killing 5 individuals. Now, since this whole thing took place, there's been a bit of a uptick, shall we say, in the amount, in the presence at a number of media outlets, in particular in New York, but throughout the country, there seems to have been an uptick in, or an increase in the amount of police presence at various different media outlets. Here, check out the story that was done here this story was done in Los Angeles, but notice some of the interesting things it says about some of the other outlets in other areas.
Following that shooting, police did step up security around newspapers and TV stations in L.A. and New York.
And our Dave Lopez is in downtown L.A. outside the L.A. Times. Dave?
Pat, we're at the main entrance of the L.A. Times behind me. A lot of people coming out. No one wants to make any comment whatsoever. This is a very secured building. There are a number of other entrances. And the LAPD want to make it very clear that what they have done today is they're not throwing any chances whatsoever. They have told all of their officers in the field, and they have gotten a hold of every single media outlet, television, radio, newspapers in the Southern California area, that they are here. They have checked in with the various newspapers, the TV, radio stations throughout the area. They have checked in with their security, and they're making sure that anything that they need, their security, the LAPD is right there. Now, they also sent out a tweet. As you can see on the sidewalk, there are no extra police officers. You will not see that, I am told, by the LAPD, but what you will see is a constant communication. They are checking in constantly with the security people at these various offices, and that will go on for an indefinite period of time. LAPD sent out this tweet earlier today. It says, quote, LAPD is closely monitoring the Annapolis Capitol Gazette shootings. There is no direct threat at this time. We are reaching out to our media partners as a precautionary measure. We encourage Los Angeles to trust your instincts. If you see something, say something. Now, we also have a couple of pictures to show you that were taken from inside the CBS Broadcast Center in New York City, and it shows police officers outside the building there. It shows them right outside the front door, and it also shows them in SUVs just outside the door as well. Again, you will not see that anywhere here in Los Angeles, but the police are aware. Also, we want to show you some video that we just received not too long ago. This is New York police presence in front of the New York Times building. A little more high presence over there, and we are also told that there are officers stationed in front of the ABC News headquarters. Again, back here at the LA Times, police officers did check in. They went into the lobby. They were up and down. Hello, how are you? Another couple of employees coming out of the LA Times building. Again, it's a very well-secured building, as most television, radio stations, and other newspapers are throughout the area. So again, you will not see patrol officers in front. You will not see officers in the lobby, but they are there. They are aware, and they're not taking nothing for chance.
All right, so I know you find this interesting. You're like, wait a minute. You mean the New York Times, who's written op-ed after op-ed They've got now armed security out in front of their building. Now, mind you, there is no specific threat. There's no specific threat against the media. This was, as I think every indication has taken place, as everyone has noted, that this was a one-off individual who, by the way, had clearly made it clear that he had made threats against them in the past. Which I find it interesting that the PD is basically saying, yeah, if you see something, say something. Well, folks at the Gazette said something, and nothing happened except a shooting. But I find it ironically hypocritical that in this case you have people who are completely and utterly anti-gun, yet they want to make sure that they are protected by people with guns. In this case, law enforcement, but as you know, they already have their own security, and in many cases, they're armed security. But then why should the media be any different? I mean, you take, for example, the leader in the anti-gun movement, Mr. Michael Bloomberg. He is constantly surrounding himself with armed guards as he seeks to disarm the rest of us. He makes sure that there are people who are around him who have the ability to shoot you if you mess with him. But he's not the only one. One only need look at Hollywood, where during the Oscars, they fought, the actors and actresses and the people who run the Academy fought to make sure that there was an increased armed police presence at the Oscars to protect them because they're too, cowardly or don't want to dim the card. They don't want to accept responsibility to be able to protect themselves. But they're just following the lead of their policymakers, those who serve in public office, who you have to walk through several layers of security before you can even talk with them. And then when you do get in front of committee, they've also got armed security there in committee as they pass laws seeking to disarm you. And there's none more hypocritical than I love this particular picture. For those of you who are having a little bit of a hard time seeing this, that's our former president. And he's surrounded once again by armed security. Meanwhile, he is standing there saying, no, none for you. But here's the thing that bothers me the most is okay, fine. They're hypocritical. They want to have guns around them to protect them. But the height of the hypocrisy is that while they are not willing to accept the risk or the responsibility of defending their lives, they're willing to put someone else's husband, someone else's son, someone else's father, someone else's mother, someone else's sister, brother, someone else. They're willing to find someone else to put their lives on the line to protect them because they are unwilling to do it themselves. And they want to put those people at further risk by removing the ability for all the rest of us to be able to defend ourselves. Here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't want law enforcement. I do. I want them to be able to be there as soon as they can get there. But as is commonly said, they are often minutes away when seconds matter. I am my own first responder. Therefore, I want to be in a position to be able to defend myself and protect myself and my family and my community until law enforcement arrives. But if I'm not prepared, well, then what do? Do I really have the right to ask someone else to put their life on the line to do something that I am not willing to do for myself? I don't know. That just seems kind of wrong to me. That just seems like something that is misplaced. It seems like priorities are misplaced. And even if you decide that you don't want to have a firearm to defend yourself, why would you take that away from me? Why would you restrict my right, my ability to be able to defend myself? to be able to protect those law enforcement officers or those armed security guards, to make it so that at least, the very least, I can tell them, look, I'm not asking you to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. Why do you want to make a hypocrite out of me? Why do you want to make me put someone else's life on the line? Because you are too cowardly to defend yourself. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. Except, no, I kind of do. Because here's the thing. When someone is a coward and they're not comfortable with being a coward, they want everyone else to be in the same situation that they are. Right? Kind of like when someone feels bad about where they are, they want other people to be exactly where they are. That's like, that whole new movement in the gyms where, they want to tell you at the gym, well, you know what, if you're in shape, well, you can't wear like stuff that makes you look in shape. And, you can't work out too hard, because if you work out too hard or you wear stuff that makes you look in shape, well, we're going to ask you to leave, because we don't want other people to feel bad about the fact that they're not in as good a shape as you are. Well, it's the same thing here. Or at schools, you're successful, so we don't, your family's doing well, so we want to control what you can wear, what you can have, so that the other kids don't feel bad. Or in this case, because, you're not willing to step up and defend yourself, defend your life, defend your community. Well, you want to make sure that the rest of us are not in a position to be able to do that either, because, well, we would just make you look bad. That's pretty much all it is all about. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and share these videos and tell your friends about the Firearms Policy Coalition. We are the home in the fight for civil rights. Got to use them or you're going to lose them. You guys have fun.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.